Hello, curling fans, and welcome to Draw number 6, 2015 Golden Gate Club here in California. I'm Jim Muyo, bringing you the play-by-play tonight. Joining me in the booth for this skip of Team Don Pilar, Darren Molding. Darren, we've got a good matchup coming up for you tonight. Both of our sheets. Who's going to be our feature Ewok party, taking on Team Zone, San Diego. Over on sheet 1, the other game. Two local teams, Broomer Sooners, Ryan Davidson, Electric Slides. As you can see, the action is already underway. We're a couple minutes ahead of schedule. Up a bit early. Apologize, we have a little apparently isn't ready to wake up for the action. Those two. Darren, you just came off the hour.
The ice condition 5. Get on Earth. Good sheet. Very playable.
Play, not the good. There was definitely ball.
Pretty straight. Yeah. Well, I found as the draw went on, a little bit.
And as always, as we're live on YouTube, we do have those comments up and running. So anything you'd like to say or share with the audience, go ahead and give us a shout there.
This one jams, but who's got a nice Ewok party's got a nice stone there in front. Again, with the hammer, going control on this.
Ewok there, sitting one with a nice little bit of backing there. Have to get. Looks like Endicott's good. Pop this outside here. That shot is away. Sleeper's leaving this one alone. And now they're on as they need that to move over a little bit. Hit that just to the outside, and they've got it.
It's a very nice shot.
Good team shot by Endicott. Just the right amount of sweeping at the right time. Any earlier and probably would have fallen a little bit too far. Would have nosed that rock.
And hold their stone in there. They're sitting 3 now. Still an opportunity for Ewok Party to get a stone somewhere in front of some backing and try and set up deuce, an early deuce.
Fortunately, not a lot up in front. A lot of possibilities. Like what we're seeing over on sheet 1, we've got guards aplenty. Totally jammed. Like Broomer Sooner sitting 1 over there. Side sitting 2nd and 3rd.
It appears on sheet 1 that most of the curl is away from the boards.
Yes, actually something very atypical that we see here in, particularly here at Fremont. Generally, when we see the fall on sheets 1 and 5, the fields fall to the boards, those 2 away.
Sheet 5 is doing that, but sheet 1 seems to be the other way.
A little counterintuitive. Looks like they have moved to. Looks like they're on Skip's Rocks now. Throwing his first rock. He's just gonna for a draw, or maybe even just a tap up on that rock that he has sitting top 12. Actually biting 8 right now. So he's gonna come around for the draw. See if it stops in time. Oh, he's got plenty on it. Is it gonna bite? Yep, there we go. So draws you with a very nice draw right to the line. Sit 1.
It'd still be accessible, but it is buried, probably 3/4 buried.
Yeah, he's got a decent amount of protection. Blue guard sitting right on that 1-2 line. Definitely.
On sheet 2 there, Endicott another nice shot to punch that blue rock back again and sit 3. Good control right now. Still an opportunity for Ewok Party. Freeze one in there.
And in case you've missed it on earlier broadcast, Brianna Weldon, the skip of Ewok Party, actually throwing 3rd rocks. On Franey, Vice is 4th rock. And now, see this as well. 2nd, yes it is. 2nd rock away.
Just a slight tick.
And that goes to the As for that shot by Weldon, comes to rest right there at right on the back 4. So Ewok Party now sitting 1.
Perfect weight. Moved a little much.
Does have some backing, but can still tap that out for. I think it would put Endicott back to 3. Tap that back, it'd still be probably two. If the shooter sticks around, then you'd have. Going for that, let's take it back over to 1 now. This is the hammer rock coming down for electric slide. And his shot is away. Keepers are on this, trying to get it around the front pack. He's going to get around the front, but he's not going to quite have enough weight to get into the. Actually, I may have misspoke there. That was not the hammer rock. Actually, that's the case. That's actually a nice guard there to protect against the hammer. I couldn't see the final blue rock there. So actually, Broomer Sooners with the hammer in 1 on sheet.
Big change onto Endicott racks the guard. Good chance for Ewok Party to get 2 now.
Big opportunity.
If they can get one right on the center line, top 4, they're very difficult to.
Lot of backing for both sides of the center line in the 4. Got plenty of backing, but anywhere on that center, ideally above the tee. Ewok Party does have the hammer here.
One of those ends for Ewok Party where they've had a chance to have control of the end, and this is a real good chance here to really put a lot of pressure on.
Rainy stone is away. There's off of it for a moment, looks like. That's the line. I have the weight though. Not going to move over quite far enough. Didn't hit it hard enough to promote that that red corner guard into the house. Situation inside the. Meanwhile, over on one, the hammer rock there for Davidson. Rex on the outside guard and actually winds up raising another red rock in. That is gonna wind up being a steal of 2 for Electric Slide here in the first.
Big shot for Endicott here. He can peel this out. He force very tough draw point. Over curling.
Away. Got a lot of lateral movement on there.
Rolls though, rolls to the top 4 foot. Not for shot rock, I don't think, but no, cuts down the rings a lot. Draw for 2.
Yeah, definitely putting Weld in a situation where going for 2 and not much more than that. Not quite the shot that Endicott wanted, but that roll back towards center of the shooter definitely helped him there. Definitely makes this.
I would expect this.
Here's Franey with the hammer shot in 1. Cooper's going to work on it, trying to get that there. He's got to get it far enough and get it past that red sitting top 8. Like they've got it. Gonna tick is getting. Ooh, that's close. Blue. It's 1 blue for sure. They're looking at it.
Hard to tell from here.
Yeah, very hard to tell from our angle here in the broadcast booth. Looks like they've made a decision. We'll see what they wind up hanging there. It was one blue for sure. We'll see what they hang on the scoreboard and see if that was 1 blue or 2 blue. Ewok Party scoring at least 1 there. Calzone will have 2. Meanwhile, the second end is already underway on sheet 1. We've got Electric Slide with 2 rocks lined up there at the back 8 and 12, and Broomer Strings just came down, popped that back 1-12 out, that back 12-1 out. Now Broomer Sooners sitting 1 with a little bit of backing. As we move forward here, we're gonna say goodbye to Darren Molding, who was kind enough to join us for the first. He fortunately had to ride home for the party. So thank you, Darren, for sitting in with us for an end. Hopefully, we'll have some other visitors coming to draw. To correct that score, that is 2-0. That was a steal of 2 by Electrified in the first end. So we got that corrected. Still yet to hang the score on sheet 2, but we do know it was at least 1 for Ewok Party. And actually, they have now hung that. That was a score of 2. Ewok Party. One there. Take you around the rink real quick and give you the rundown of everybody else who is playing here in draw number 6. On sheet 3, we have Game of Stones, San Francisco Curling Club versus David and the Goliath, also a San Francisco club. That game looks like we have the scoreboard. They've yet to hang the score on 1. We'll just finished that. No score there yet. On sheet 4, we have Team Gong versus the Kiddos, another pair of San Francisco teams. Team Gong with a score of 3 in the first end, so it's 3-0 Gong through 1. And then over on sheet 5, we have the Rock Bottoms versus the Ivy Leaguers. Ivy Leaguers, a local team here in the Bay Area. Rock Bottoms, a composite team. San Francisco, the Orange County Curling Club, and the Dixie Curling Club of Mississauga. Okay, on that side, we have excuse me. We have the Ivy Leaguers. Spot from that end. Ivy League. I'm now joined in the booth by San Francisco curler Evan Elliott. Evan,
hello.
Broadcast.
Hello.
How are things going down there at ice level?
They are going quite well. There's a lot of curling going on and a lot of drinking going on. It's slightly above that ice level, but let's just say that all the guest taps that were brought in have been exhausted at this point, because that is how curlers are. I was speaking earlier with the brewer from Strike Brewery, who took over the Stanley's Bar here tonight, and he really did not understand the curling mentality, and I think he's been very surprised by how much we've drained every drop of beer that he brought here tonight.
It was my understanding that they brought with them 5-gallon mini kegs. Any curler will tell you that is going to be nowhere near enough. Gone and
I think you need about, probably the calculation is mini keg per sheet of ice.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I would agree with you.
Looking out on the ice, Ryan Davidson does not look happy with that last shot. It's a little early to be being frustrated. You gotta keep those early ends positive no matter what happens.
It is. He is sitting 2 right now at the moment. 1, 2, and 4. Things are wide open in the front right now. And just ticks the front. Going to roll in for probably still third shot.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that's going to be blue at the back.
Third shot, and I think the most important part is that it gives Brian an option for the hit and roll.
It does. Gives him very nice. Meanwhile, over on 2, we've got a number of stones in the house there. It looks like Ewok Party getting 1, maybe 2. Not looking for, going to try for the promote.
I mean, Endicott is definitely second shot now, but Ewok Party continues to have that one biting the forefoot.
Not just tapping up rock that was full 8. So now firmly second shot. Cover.
I have to say, I am impressed with Electric Slide's jerseys. They have the most cohesive team dynamic going on.
A little hard to tell on the broadcast, but got a little creative with those. They have sponsorships on those from fabulous companies such as Initech and Dunder Mifflin.
They make paper.
They do.
Definitely.
That they do.
And there's flames, blue flames.
Now we're into Skip's Rocks here on Heat 1. Raju's first rock.
Maybe a second rock. It looks like he's going for a tap back. A lot of sweeping going on.
A little light there.
Right, but he is shot stone now.
Meanwhile, quickly jumping back over to 2, Bree Weldon with her shot coming down. Maybe trying to sneak by, get to the back button. Just going to hit the blue rock there at the top 12. Going to split those. Fortunately for her, the shot rock that's fighting the top 4 still at least half cup. That's going to be a tough port for Endicott to come.
It seems like too narrow a port, and I think if they go after a run back on that, they probably will end up just raising Ewok Party in, even if they get rid of the shot rock. I think Ewok Party will still be sitting. They're definitely going for that upweight takeout, though.
Yes. Plenty of weight on this.
No sweeping, though. Almost made the port.
Almost did. He pinballs between those 2. Winds up moving 2 outermost rocks. Blue on the right side to the far top 12. Taking out far side. Ewok Party still sitting 1. Now definitely a lot of raise possibilities there for
absolutely. Brian Davidson brought his rock in. I think he was going for a freeze, but didn't quite get it in. He's got a nice guard, but Raju does have another rock. Who has hammer on that, Jim?
On that one, Davidson does have hammer.
Okay, so Davidson has another rock. He's not in a bad spot. Breeze rock heading down the ice now. So far, Sean appears to be, well, he's calling on sweepers.
Rock was wide, looks like over all a little bit. Gonna tap, and he pops that outside rock. He puts it into the middle of the right-hand 8-foot. Hard to tell from here if that is out counting the red that's sitting top 8 right now. At least 1 right now for Ewok Party. Maybe.
Definitely close.
Definitely close, but you know what else it is? It's definitely that's juicy for a hit. If you can get to it.
You have to get to the inside. I mean, the problem is that it's wide open for a hit, but you have to be able to get in there. And it looks like Endicott is actually going. Looks like he's just trying to clear it up. He's just trying to peel the middle, move stuff around, see kind of what happens. I mean, there's plenty more rocks to be played right there on his game.
Endicott's 6th rock. He'll have Skip's rocks to come here. Shot is away.
Or is Endicott not throwing final rocks as skip? Because Bree is skip.
Bree is throwing third rock.
Bree is throwing third rocks.
Brianna
Okay.
Weldon is skipping but throwing rocks. Rainey the Vice is. Well, Endicott was able to move things around a little bit, but now his red that's now sitting top 8 from here looks like it's definitely out counting Ewok Party. Right hand side 8. Or 2, they're cut to 1 right now.
Whereas on sheet 1, it looks like Raju's rock came up a bit light, and so they had to sweep it, and that kept it wide. They weren't able to get the tick in that I think they were hoping for. They're still sitting, but I think they're sitting 1, and then Davidson is second. So if he can remove that rock.
Looks like Davidson's actually
Very close. It's hard to tell. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's he's 2 and 3. So if he can come in and move that rock without moving any of his, which is not an easy shot.
No, it is not.
But he has the powers of being the president of the club. I think
Yes.
that gives you that extra little bit of fairy dust that makes you able to make the crazy shot here.
Davidson's shot is away on 1. Final rock here in the second.
Not a lot of weight on that. More of a tap back, if anything. I'm a bit worried about a raise. Looks like he has given Raju the 1 on that.
That's going to be another steal, a steal of 1 this time for Electric Slide. After 2 ends on nothing.
Endicott tends to be a very thoughtful skip. He's working out all these angles with his vice for his final shot. His first rock, I believe.
You're right. I believe.
First rock. Hard to tell. It's 200 feet away, but
Yeah.
Just judging by the posture of his vice, he's going for an upweight shot. People tend to sit a little lower when they are looking for an upweight shot rather than a draw shot.
And depending on where the shooter, whether or not that top 8 part, side 8, kind of being
A lot of
shots
weight.
coming down, lots of weight.
It was a good amount of sweeping, but it came off. He ends up spilling his shot rock.
Oh,
That was not the result that he was looking for.
tough break. Walk Party might try their rock that's sitting top 8. 2.
So many rocks in the house. All these variables, with everything is sitting so tightly. Be interesting to see what happens because John Franey can definitely throw big weight shots,
Yes, he
especially
can.
for the guy who barely weighs more than a rock. I've definitely been on the wrong end of that takeout.
Here comes that stone. It's away. Sweeper's staying off of it.
Not a big weight though.
No.
More of a gentle weight.
Come down. He's going to, but he didn't catch it on 2. Does move the Let's move that second rock over, although that red rock that's sitting just to the right center at top 8, that's definitely side 8. Ewok party sitting 1 with the hammer rock now coming 2.
He definitely has a chance to spit that one out the back. Those two are sitting so close to the top that if he can just get one of his into that blue rock and spill it out, he probably has 2.
Needs to move that. Got to move that just to catch the back 12. He doesn't need to clear it out.
He doesn't need to clear it out.
He only has to move it about 6, 7 feet where it's currently able to get to the nose. That center line red.
Doesn't appear to be an option for more than 2 though.
No. Although with that, you've got a tie game.
Absolutely. Early on. You know, in the high level, the 2 is kind of what you're expecting. You're fighting to keep the other team from getting 2.
Another look.
Adam is a good skip. He's a good curler. He's a good person. He's not the fastest curler. I've definitely looked at the clock playing against Adam before.
He's very thorough.
He's thorough.
He's very thorough. Let's give him that. He is thorough, very thorough. After we get the hammer here, we'll go ahead and take that. Fire the hammer down here.
Good amount of weight. He definitely was not going for a soft tap.
No, he was not.
Made it by it. Build it.
There.
Tried to sweep. Not enough.
Not enough.
It moved off that other blue. Looks from here like 1 blue,
Yeah,
but it's pretty. Yeah, I think 1 blue.
Stop and take a closer look. One.
I mean, really,
blue for sure.
everyone should clear the house and let the Vices work this out.
That's the Vice's job.
It looks like they did
Settle
come
and
to a
hang the
decision. Yeah, it looks like they did come to a decision. 1 blue on that. So a steal for Ewok party. That's Brianna's mom playing.
It is, yes. That is Dawn Weldon, second. Donna's mother.
Probably the only mother-daughter team we have on there.
I think
ice?
at the Spiel, yes.
Yeah.
The,
There's mother-son with TC Altus and
yes.
her son, but the only mother-daughter team we have.
that game now 3-0 Ewok party through 2 ends. Third end underway. We'll take it back over to 1. Broomer Sooners is sitting 1. Things looking pretty wide open right now. We were going to take you around the rink and get you a score update. Unfortunately, the teams that have moved on to the third end have yet to hang their scores from. So once those get hung up there, we'll get that for you. The game right now on sheet 3, Game of Stones versus David and the Goliaths. That game is actually still in the second end. It looks like they actually are going to go to a measure. For that. Oh, no, actually they made a decision. It's 1 for Game of Stones, so it looks like that game is all tied at 1 through 2 ends. Coming back over to our two games here, Nolan Airstrom with his shot coming down. Looks like he's just going to try and tap that Broomer Sooners rock that's sitting in the back 8. Might be fighting back 4. Looks like that's going to overcurl just a bit and slide just past. Good enough for second rock. But cut Davidson 1.
Definitely gives an opportunity for a freeze there.
Does.
I don't think he wanted it. I don't think Raju wanted that to get past the tee line. Nice little hit there.
2 rocks down. Broomer Sooners actually now sitting 3. If you're Davidson at this point, you go thinking, yeah, I want to score. I want to score right now. I'd like to get on the board, but we don't need to. You know, you're down 3 early. Don't necessarily need to make it all up in one end. Definitely wanting to score.
I mean, I'm of the mind that after if you've played 2 ends and you have not scored yet, even if you're down, don't go for the big score. Maybe you just want to take one, just kind of change the dynamic. Try a different strategy. Try to steal for a change. Make the other team also play differently because they've been playing the same against you. Looks like, I think from the signaling that Raju is going for the freeze here. There's a nice little pocket. I don't know how Davidson would get that out.
Based on what Noel was holding the broom like a little bit outside of where Raju was hoping, and that's just going to create a little bit of separation there. Like Davidson's still sitting 3 right now. Got a little outside on Raju.
Here's a possibility for a nice end here, depending on Raju's next. I would suspect a guard, but I haven't been watching the ice. Is that enough ice for a guard on this?
Depending on which handle he
looks like he just called negative, I think.
hangs out there, be able to move over.
No sweeping, so they're obviously not too worried about weight. Full 8 would be nice, because I think there I would have liked a goblin, a greedy guard, a little bit of a biter would have been nice. I think the difficulty is that on a different sheet you still have a nice draw in, but on this sheet there's the issue of that fall in, and so I don't know if you can really come that other way for a freeze. You have to make it through that port.
Yeah, that would be very tough. Looking at quite. I actually played on this first draw this morning, or when we had the mid. You played with normal handle. You put your broom on 8 foot. You were almost falling out.
Gotcha.
Both left well as at that end. Very severe.
Out of his hand, that looked a little fast from Raju.
It did.
They're sweeping a lot though, so maybe they're trying for the hit. I'm concerned they're just going to end up raising Davidson into the rings.
Like that's what happened. It comes off the inside of Davidson, pushes it in.
If he's able to take out that other rock, he may have a. It does look like he's got a shot for 5. Interestingly, that does not look like what they're discussing. Looks like he's more interested in maybe just a straight draw for 3. Or 4. Straight draw for 4.
Yeah, sitting 3. That's a.
I'm a big go big or go home guy. So for this, you already have 3. You're probably not going to mess that up going for that outside rock. And if you hit it, I'm pretty sure that's 5.
Yeah. This is gonna be a tough.
And I think when you come to the risk reward, the draw is more risky than the hit, because if you don't curl enough, you may end up raising their rock in. I guess with this ice, you're never going to come back over there. But he's trying to either draw. Interesting.
Rock is away. Here's the hammer in 3 for Davidson.
Maybe he is going for that hit. If so, it needs a curl. Going for the raise? In
Winds up with a nose raise there.
for 4. That is a healthy score.
Yeah. Nice comeback end. 4 of 4. Take the lead now. 4-3.
Keep this game interesting. On sheet 2, Ewok party just healed a guard, and their shooter rolled over, contributing to that wall of blue that they have on the left side. But Endicott, Team Calzone are still sitting 2 under cover. It looks like he's going for a draw for a 3rd in the house. Nice center guard from the lead on the Broomer Sooners.
We have a quick score update over 5 that Rock Bottom Ivy League are leading. Rock Bottom's for 1. 1. They're currently in the 3rd. They are into the Skips Rocks there. 5.
Sheet 1, Raju could not keep that, all the sweeping could not keep that rock straight, and it just curled too much. They're probably going, it looked like they were going for the tick shot, just to move Davidson's rock over, because you can't take out that guard in the free guard zone.
While over on 2, got a lot of red rocks there. I think it's a little hard to tell. I can't. It looks like another rock near on his head.
Yeah, I think they have 3 rocks in the house.
Oh no, it's not. It's
all undercover.
All 3 red rocks in there. And I thought there may have been a blue up there.
All undercover.
That's going to wind up loading that guard of Endicott, off of there. All of blue granite piling up in front.
I mean, it's not ideal for an Ewok party, but at least there's a little bit more room in that port along the center line for them to try to come in. At least cut them down.
Not now. His first rock.
I'm gonna have to ask him about that name. I don't think it's a name he's used before in the past.
Right. It usually comes with a new name at just about every spiel.
Yeah.
Quite a video.
It's not the exact team he's always plays with, but Adam and Jesse are pretty regulars together.
Yes.
Rock underway, no sweeping. Looks like they're just putting that center line guard, try to block that that path into the house. Very nicely placed. That port is very narrow.
It's going to be a very tough.
I mean, it's a riskier shot, but I almost like the raise on that blue that you can't quite see because it's behind Brianna's shoulder. But trying to angle raise that in may be their best shot right now. Especially considering that it's final stone. They don't want to give up 5 here. You really never want to give up 5.
No, there's really no. There's a situation depending on if you want the hammer back. Okay, we'll give up 1, maybe 2 if you have. Giving up 5, there's pretty much no scenario where you'd want.
Definitely not. Looks like they may be going for that angle raise. Not a lot of sweeping. Rock coming in, ending up frozen to the one on the top of the 4-foot. I can't tell because behind Adam, but I think that means Ewok Party is second, which isn't a terrible place. I mean, you're up 3, giving Endicott 1. That's fine. I don't know how they're going to try to. I don't know how they would remove that rock.
Yeah, if that is frozen there, that's going to be pretty close to impossible. Get out here.
Big weight, the right spot. You might be able to spill them both and get 3. I don't know what that signal is.
Yeah,
but I'm hoping that's giant weight. Or Elvis. It's one of those two.
Perhaps that's some sort of San Diegan speak that we are not familiar with. Need Ron Burgundy in here to translate.
Yeah. Secrets held between San Diego and Orange County as NorCalers have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Either that or they're just trying to shake the sand out of their pants that they come up with.
There's one thing we do like about Southern California are the beaches. Water's at a suitable temperature to go in, not
that is not what we have up here.
Not the very crisp between, I'd say between 50 and 55 degrees Fahrenheit that we typically see on a good day here in the Bay Area.
One of those things that somehow you're able to get in when you're a child, and then by the time you hit 14, you're just done.
Here's Endicott's rock, and he's gonna tick the guard.
Not enough weight. I mean, no matter what he was going for, there was not enough weight for it.
That was very light. So it's gonna be 1 for Team Calzone here in third end. So that now is gonna be 3-1 Ewok Party through.
Ewok Party is not upset about that result because it was looking a bit dire for them.
Not at all.
On Sheet 1, it looks like angles are difficult to tell, but it looks like Raju is sitting 1 on the right side of the forefoot. And he has definitely an opportunity to freeze on those 2 that Broomer Sooners have in the back. But they're electing to guard. I think. A deep guard.
Very deep guard.
And they came off sweeping, so obviously they didn't want it much deeper than that.
Davidson immediately calling for its removal, calling for a hack waiter here.
You know, obviously you play what you know your people can make, but
Right.
there is a pretty nice double there that they could have gone for. Or maybe he was calling for a hit on a totally different rock than we were expecting.
Possibly.
That rock looked like it just came right to it, like it was called, but it was not what I was expecting.
I think the call actually was on the rock on the center line. I think that
Plan B?
Plan B there. So Davidson still gets the takeout. Not the rock he was originally intending, but
Good amount of sweeping from the front end here. Not a bad guard, just on the outside of the center line, but I still see that double. That double is still calling out to me.
perhaps there's something in the ice that Davidson's not liking about the line to that double.
It could be. Again, since we know there's a fall, this could be the ice to make that double. But that seems like a long way for an upweight shot to move.
At the weight necessary, as close as those 2 rocks are, at the weight necessary to pop both of them out, yes, that's quite a bit of ice.
Although you don't necessarily need to move both of them out. If you could move each of them into the 12-foot, you'd still be sitting pretty, even without fully removing them. But that's generally not how people think. He's probably drawing in. A hit and roll to freeze on the other one would also not be a bad result. There's a good amount of weight on that rock.
Yeah, that's at least.
And it curled because he is on that top rock.
Yes, he is. Knows it. Oh, not quite knows it. Squeak by that one at the top 8. Pop that guard out the back. Swapping guards on that shot. I want to give you a quick score update over on sheet 5. The Ivy Leaguers have scored 1 in the third end. That game, the Ivy Leaguers now lead 4-1 after 3. They're in the fourth end now. The Kiddos, junior team, with a steal of 1 in the third end on Team Gong. They now trail Team Gong 3-2 after 3. They just had a measure for 1 point there in third. The game on sheet 3, Game of Stones, and David and the Goliaths has moved to the fourth end, but we don't have a score update yet on how that happened, on what the result was there in 3. That score was 1-1 after 2. Update on that.
Someone's hanging it right now. It looks like score of 1. Who's on top on that
1 for Game of Stones.
Game of Stones.
So Game of Stones now leading that game 2-1 after 3 ends.
And that would have been a steal because they took 1 in the second end.
Indeed it was.
Stole 1 in the third.
And as always, throughout any of the California Bonspiels, you can follow along live with our online scoring at bonspieler.com. 100% free to use. If you do enjoy using it, There's a link there if you feel so inclined to make a donation to the dedicated ice fund here at St. Attempting to build our own club and get maybe a little bit more of a permanent broadcast booth than the perch you and I are sitting on right now, Evan.
And I think more importantly, a sheet 5 that doesn't fall in quite the same way.
Yes.
Sarah Walsh is responsible for Bonspieler.com, and it really is a fabulous website. I've been at Bonspiel's that they use other options, and Bonspieler is simple, it's clear, you can get all the information you need very easily. It's really a great website, and I encourage anyone who might be watching, if you've got a spiel coming up, use it. And if you love it, make a donation to the Dedicated Ice Fund.
Sarah Walsh recently elected the vice president of the Bay Area Curling Club under Brian Davidson.
Frankly, I'm surprised she would accept that. She tends to be a behind-the-scenes sort of puppeteer, but, you know, I guess everyone has to come to the surface eventually. Brian's got his last rock underway. Looks like a good amount of weight. I'm suspecting a angle raise hit. Or a draw to the 4.
And the sweeper's on it now. Is he going to get through that port?
Got past it.
Oh. Almost squeaks through that port.
I still think that Raju is sitting second.
I would agree with you at that point.
So he has a draw in there from this side for 3.
He's got a draw for 3. He's going to need a lot of ice for this draw. Otherwise, he's going to wind up well to the other side of center.
I mean, strong sweepers can bring him a ways, but they've got to. I think they probably have to be on that immediately. Although, do you think the sweeping is encouraging the fall in this situation?
It definitely is.
Okay.
This is
right.
one of those you've got to have that line just perfect. And coming down on that side is possible. Actually, this is where
he's way out there, so it is a possibility.
He is out there. That broom is probably 2-3 inches off the sideline.
I'm really just concerned about weight.
Yeah, it's slowing significantly.
Yeah, they decided that wasn't happening.
Yep, and they've pushed that rock. Looks like that will do it for the 4th end there. So it looks like 2 for Electric Slide. Jumping back into the lead. Electric Slide now leading 5-4 through 4 ends.
On sheet 2, Team Calzone is sitting a bunch of rocks. Looks like they are 3 with only 1 Ewok Party rock in the house. Oh, no, I'm wrong. There's 2. They're tightly locked together, which makes it really useless for a run back, unfortunately. Made it past the guard. Made it into the house. It made it into the 4-foot.
Made it to the 4-foot. That's a lovely draw. Endicott checking it out. Looks like red is still sitting the 1, but they have snuck in there for second shot.
And I am gonna have to head out because I am on the ice at 7:30 tomorrow morning.
As am I. I will see you there bright and early. Sorry, folks, as we say goodbye, good night to Evan Elliott there. Looks like it'll probably be me to take you the rest of the way here, unless I get another visitor. Anybody out there listening want to come on by the booth? Come stop in. So coming back to the action here on sheet 2. So situation now. Couldn't see what they actually decided was the situation, but as far as to who is second rock, from where I'm sitting, I would say that it is likely Team Calzone that is sitting 2. Although don't hold me to that. We'll figure that out as the end progresses. We have Bree Weldon now coming down for her second shot. Come down, and Franny now calling for the sweepers on it. They come off momentarily, now back on. It looks like they're trying to get that to at least bite the top 8, and it's not quite going to get there. Not going to get there. So Endicott and Team Calzone still sitting. And it looks like Endicott is just going to try to come right down, pop that blue rock out, tap it back to take a shot to sit 4 now. As we move into Skip's Rocks in the 4th end on sheet 2. Meanwhile, over on sheet 1, this game here, Broomer Sooners and Electric Slide playing at a pretty brisk pace. They're into the second rocks now in the 5th end. Everybody else still in the 4th. Although I do think that this game did get started a couple minutes before everybody else. But still, good pace to the action today. Here's that rock coming down. Sweeper's just letting it be. And unfortunately, it's going to wind up raising Electric Slide's rock pretty much right to the pin. Bit of a bad break there for Broomer Sooners. And Weldon now lining up Franny's first shot here in end number 4. Looks like they're going to try the tap again. Just try to come in, maybe get a little bit of fall working on their side, and just tap that sitting top 4. Get that a little bit closer to the pin. Like a little last-minute ice adjustment. Shot is away. Looks a little fast coming out of Franny's hand. The sweepers are on it right away. See where this ends up, if that's going to come over far enough. Actually, looks like it's staying pretty straight on that line. A little bit of a departure from what we've seen on sheet 2 throughout the course of the day. Actually, he's going to hit the red guard on the outside. and sit, and the shooter's going to sit there as a corner guard. So, not sure if they were trying to round that there, or if just on that line the rock didn't curl or behave as they were expecting. So, either way, bit unlucky on that shot. Meanwhile, over on sheet 1, electric slide trying to draw in, put another one in the house. Still have that rock sitting right on the pin. Davidson sitting third rock right now in the full 8. Looks like that other electric slide rock on the right-hand side of your screen is just biting 4 on the right-hand side. If you are watching your favorite curler on that top screen and you're saying to yourself, gee, I never knew that they were a lefty, don't be fooled, folks. That top image is actually mirrored. That way we can give you, that way vertically we have the same sheets. So it's sheet 2 is on the left on both images, and sheet 1's on the right on both images. So let's jump back over now to sheet 2, where Weldon and Franey are looking to line up the shot. This is going to be the hammer rock coming down here in 4. And it looks like they're going to try. Looks like they're going to try to promote. Looks like Plan A is to try to promote the centerline guard to the button. Plan B, if it over curls, looks like is to tap the shot that's sitting in the top 8. And the shot is away. Final shot here in 4. Sweeper's on it now, holding it for, trying to hold it for line. Unfortunate, and it wrecks on the red guard up top. So it's going to be 1 for sure for Endicott. Oh, look. It looks like they've already made the judgment call. Looks like it's going to be. Looks like they're saying that's going to be 2 for Endicott here. So we've got a tie game now, folks. Ewok Party and Team Calzone tied 3-3 through 4. And we're going to go ahead and post it here on the broadcast as to. We'll wait and just get the confirmation on that as well when they hang the score at the far end. While end number 5 kicks off over there on sheet 2. Let's go back over to sheet 1 where we're also in the 5th end. Where it skips rocks now, and it looks like we've got electric slide now sitting 2. Davidson and Broomer Sooners still have that rock sitting at the right-hand side, 8 foot. And it looks like Raju's going to try and draw in here, try to get another, but no, maybe he's just trying to plug the hole. Not what I would have thought given what the ice was called, but maybe he's just found a line that works there. So. Actually winds up being a very nice guard. Plugs that hole very nicely. Takes away a number of angles for raises, and definitely takes away the straight down draw. There is a draw from the outside that Davidson might be able to make here. He's going to need a lot of ice to do it. And as Davidson prepares for a shot, we have a score update for you over on sheet 5. The Ivy Leaguers with a steal of 2 in fourth end over there. So that game is now 6-1. Ivy Leaguers over Rock Bottoms now. They are into the fifth end. As Davidson's rock comes down here, looks like he's going to get through the port. Oh, he just wrecks on the guard. Oh, I thought he had that. Tough break. Tough break for Davidson. And Raju looks like he's just going to try and plug up whatever's left of that hole. That there is a guard against any potential run back. And force Davidson to draw coming around the outside. So Electric Slide definitely in control of this end. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, I apologize. We're going to need to take a quick station break here. We'll leave the feed running for you, but we'll continue with the audio portion in approximately 3 minutes. Right, ladies. Back with you now here from Fremont. And we did get a score update. That was, in fact, a score of 2 for Ewok Party in that last end, so that game is tied 3-3. Does look like Electric Slide did wind up scoring in that end. I was away from the booth. As soon as we determine how many they actually scored, we'll go ahead and get data here on the screen. And Nolan Airstrom, the second, has just hung the score. It is a steal of 2 for Electric Slide there. So Electric Slide now leading 7-4 through 5 ends. And again, just a reminder to everybody that that if those of you who are watching YouTube, feel free to comment in the live chat feed there. I do have that up here. If there's any information you want or anything you want to share, feel free to send that my way. Get that on the air. We have a score update on sheet 3. David and the Goliaths with a score of 2 in the 4th end take the lead in that game now 3-2 over Game of Stones. That game now in the 5th end. Over on sheet 4, we have an update. Team Gong with a score of 3 in the 4th end. They now lead the Kiddo 6-2 through 4 ends. They are playing the 5th now. And oh, nice rock by Brianna Weldon. Not sure if they quite got that far enough out to that way the blue that was promoted out counts. But nice run back there. Very nice. Very difficult and tricky line that's been on sheet 2 throughout the day. I want to give a quick shout out to Mr. Adam Cap, who is watching from afar. I believe Mr. Cap this week is in the DC area, if I'm not mistaken. So super fanning hard from the East Coast tonight. So want to say hey to Adam. Hope you're doing well. Wish you were here, buddy. We're now moving into Skip's rocks here on sheet 2. Endicott with his first rock. Coming forward here. Ewok Party with the hammer. Endicott's going to run into those high guards there. And unfortunately, that just makes things a little bit more difficult for him. He's got really close off that middle. I mean, the port is there, but it can't be more than a stone and a half wide. Meanwhile, checking in back over on sheet 1, Electric Slide very quickly with 3 rocks in the house. And here, Broomer Sooners trying to, like they'll get one of them out, cutting Electric Slide to 1 for the time being. Meanwhile, back over to 2. Here's Sean Franey's first stone of the 5th end. Trying to come around that pack of guards. Sweeper's on the rock now. Trying to get it to move back over, but just stayed straight and slowed down significantly. So that line on sheet 2, definitely over the last hour or so, this game is definitely straightened out and down. So we'll probably expect to see some adjustment on that moving forward in this game. Over on 1, here's Nolan Airstrom, his rock. Here's coming down, and we're going to tap Davidson's rock to the back 8, just biting the back 12. Davidson still sitting second back there. Electric Slide now sitting 3 and 4. Endicott now getting ready for his final shot here in the 5th end. Looks like he's going to try and run through. Looks like he's going to try and run through that port. Although out of his hand, not sure if he's got quite the weight for that. So we'll see. We'll see where this one ends up. He might be trying a raise on the outside. Oh, and that rock just died. That just died. That's going to wind up being. That's just going to wind up being a 1 guard up front. So now Ewok Party with the hammer, still not 100% sure based on our vantage point who is sitting right now. It is very close from where we are. That is at the opposite end of the arena from where our broadcast booth is situated. From the camera there, it's very difficult to tell. So we'll wait and see what they're going to do here. While that is happening, quick score update over on sheet 5. Rock Bottoms have scored 2 in the 5th end. So that game is now 6-3 in favor of the Ivy Leaguers. That game now in the 6th end. And everybody else around the rink still working on 5 right now. Looks like they're all those games are in Skip's Rocks right now. So here comes Franey now with the hammer in 5 for Ewok Party. And big weight coming out of his hand on this one. And here come the sweepers. And that's gonna wreck on that front guard. And it's gonna be a score of 1. We'll see which way that went. Based on who's going to throw the first rock here. So it was definitely close from our vantage point, but looked like it was pretty apparent from there. So we'll see which way that went.
No, and they've actually marked 2 for Team Calzone. It looks like that one rock that was at the left-hand 8-foot may have been out counting the other Ewok Party rock. A little hard to tell from this angle. So the score that's hung is 2 for Team Calzone. So that is now 5-3 Calzone through 5. Endicott with
Line guard there to start. Meanwhile, back over on sheet 1, Davidson trying to remove some of those electric slide rocks from the front of the house. Try to give himself a shot to try to pop out the shot rock sitting for Raju. So right now, electric slide sitting in 1. Here comes Raju now with his last rock of the 6th end. Looks like he's just content to guard this up. Not going to get greedy here. He's up by 3 in the 6th end. Protect the 1. It's going to be it's going to be tough for Davidson. He tried to draw around that. He's able to sit. He could sit full 4 foot behind the tee and he'll get his 1. There's a riskier play to try to get 2 if he's able to throw it at the right weight and get the rock to fall with sweeping into that shot rock. Get that to chip out. If he's able to do that with enough force and then stick around, it might be possible for him to get 2. But looking on the ice that's being called here, looks like we're in for a draw. And try to draw to the button or the back 4 for 1 here. So here we go. Brian Davidson with the final rock here in 6. And the sweepers are on it right. Nope, they've been called off. That rock took a very quick right turn. Not sure if that actually may have picked on something. That was a very sudden turn on that rock. Winds up wrecking into the guard at on the center line. So it's going to be a steal of 1 for electric slide. And after 6 ends, is now 8-4 electric. Then and then now underway there on sheet 1. Peter Zerzin with lead rocks. We missed, I think, at the top of the broadcast, we failed to go over the roster for the teams on our broadcast this evening. So let's go ahead and do that here. Let's start on sheet 2 for Ewok Party. Skip is Deanna Weldon. Vice is Sean Franey. Second is Dawn Weldon. And lead is Olivia Stella. They are a composite team from the San Francisco Bay Area Club as well as Orange County Curling Club. Opposing them is Team Calzone, skipped by Adam Endicott. Vice is Kathy Matra. Second is Terry Polity, and lead is John Phillips. There's also a composite team from Curl San Diego, as well as the Coyotes Curling Club of Phoenix, Arizona. Over on sheet 1, with Electric Slide versus Broomer Sooners. First, Electric Slide. The skip is Tien Raju. Vice is Nolan Airstrom. Second is Richmond Wong. The lead is Peter Zerzan. For Broomer Sooners, skip is Brian Davidson. The vice is Dylan Smith. The second is Kalen Kratz. And the lead is listed as Philip Maximovich, although I believe Philip may not be on the ice. I believe we may have a substitute here this evening playing lead, and I'm sorry, I don't know her name. She's going to be wearing Missy Worker's sweater, so presumably is also from Bay Area Club. Seeing in the chat that we're getting a little bit of static over the microphone. I apologize for that. The air vent has just turned back on here in our broadcast booth, and tried to get that turned off, but it is producing quite a bit of background noise, and it's kind of a crackly noise. I apologize if that is being picked up on the microphone. Try to have that get that under control for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. we will be back with you. Actually, I won't be here. I'll be on the ice. I will be playing Bisons on the Bay from that composite team. Also in action tomorrow morning on sheet 1 is Cool in the Gang versus Fraley. Joe Smith versus Team Bone. Team BL versus Mansfield. And Mountain Mayhem versus Markowski. I never pronounced that right. Seeing in the commentary that the lead for Broomer Sooners is actually Olivia Stella's boyfriend. Olivia Stella, the lead over on Ewok Party. And let's check back in over on sheet 2. Looks like Ewok Party sitting 1. With Endicott having a rock right in front of that. Looks like it's open. Looks like they're going to try. Looks like he's contemplating a tap back on that. And he's just signaled for board weight here. See if it that way to hold the line. This line, past couple ends have been a little tricky for both teams. And the rock is away with considerable weight, although slowing now. Looks like that was probably closer to pull up coming out of the hands, and that's going to hit the guard, but is going to spill in first shot rock. Well, it's always good to have a plan B, and That just happened there for Adam Endicott and Team Calzone. Calzone now sitting 1 with Bree Weldon now making her way down for her second rock. And here comes that rock now. They can try and do what Endicott just did, and unfortunately she noses it and is going to shoot that rock right out the back. So didn't quite come over far enough. Looks like Endicott. Looks like they might try that path again to try to promote that one that's at the rock of theirs that's sitting in the top 8 to get for 2. Endicott now up 2 with pretty limited lane to the center there. Controls in good position here in this end. As he's prepping for that, let's jump back over to 1. Davidson looking like he's sitting against 2. Looks like that one at the top 12 is out sitting Blue on the wing there. Tough to tell from here. Davidson calling for at least a takeout, maybe a hit and roll here. Try to come in underneath. Although that rock, like it may have been a little bit inside off the delivery. Going to catch a piece of that rock up front. Going to come to rest frozen to Raju's shot rock. Davidson now sitting 1 like he is corner frozen to the electric slide rock. And here comes Nolan Airstrom for electric slide. Coming down, looks like they were trying to get the tap there, the double tap, but Stone moved over just a little bit too far. Gonna flip that center guard. And Davidson knowing he needs points here, he's going to try and looks like he's going to try and chip that red out from behind his shot Blue. Difficult shot here. Shot coming down, not quite far enough outside. Is just gonna bump up those 2 reds a bit. Red now sitting 3rd shot right there, just biting the 8. Meanwhile, let's go back over to sheet 2 where we have where situation still remains the same in the house. Endicott still sitting 1. Looks like Ewok sitting 2nd. There in the house is like Barry Ivy giving some direction to some folks what to do. I think telling them to take the rocks off after, because we're going to do a full scrape tonight after the conclusion. This is the last draw of the evening. And speaking of that, we have a score update we'll bring you in just a moment. Meanwhile, here we have Endicott's rock
on 2 is going to wind up just as a guard, and you did hear the bell just now, so that bell we're going to have will take us through the end of the evening. So we'll get a full 8 ends in here on sheet 1, and then we'll finish the 6th, and we will play the 7th on sheet 2. That score update I wanted to bring you, we had a score of 2 by the Ivy Leaguers in the 6th end over on sheet 5, and then it appears to have been handshakes after that. So final score over on sheet 5, Ivy Leaguers 8, Rock Bottom 3. So that game is done. Elsewhere around the rink, Team Gong with a steal of 1 in the 5th end. They now lead the Kiddos 7-2 through 5. And over on sheet 3, a steal of 1 for David and the Goliaths in the 5th end. They now lead that game 4-2 over Game of Stones. That game also in the 6th. Both those games on 2 and 3, or excuse me, that game on 3 now in Skips Rocks on the 6th. Looks like we got probably in just getting into thirds rocks on sheet 4. And coming back to live action here on 2. Here comes Ewok Party's hammer on 2. Sean Franey. Good amount of weight on this shot. But unfortunately, it's not going to move over far enough. It's going to wreck on the front guard, and it looks like it's going to be a steal of 1 for Team Calzone. The score in that game after 6 and heading.
And as we're only going to get 7 in on that game, is Team Calzone 6, Ewok Party 3. Right. As they get ready for the final end there over on, let's go back to sheet 1 here as we're in the middle of the 7th end. And looks like the Broomer Sooners have a couple of rocks inside the 8 foot. They're sitting 2 against Electric Slide. And looks like we have 1 rock left for each, one for Raju, and 1 for Davidson. Raju, after discussing, Raju's another one of those skips who is very thorough in his shot making calls. It's about all the angles, all the possibilities. Talk to him, you'll learn very quickly he's read pretty much every strategy book that's out there. In his short curling career, he's amassed quite a bit of curling knowledge. And Raju with a very nice hit and stick for shot rock. And Davidson follows him down. He'll have his 2. Like that's the shot they're going to attempt. Here's Davidson now with his hammer rock in 7. Got a good amount of weight on it. And here go the sweepers. Trying to pull that rock over as far as they can. Got to move. And doesn't look like it's quite going to. Going to be... Looks like that is going to be a steal of 1 here in 7 for Electric Slide. And so coming home on sheet 1, it is going to be 9-4 Electric Slide. And as they get ready to start the final end there, score update for you on sheet 3. Game of Stones putting up 1 in the 6th end. A very close game over there. Lots of almost all ones. We only had one score of 2. But 1 point for Game of Stones in the 6th. That game is now David and Goliath 4, Game of Stones 3. That game now in the 7th and final end of that game, as we did have the bell previous end there. Still in lead rocks now. And as we start to wind down the draws here, I want to say a couple words about the broadcast today. This is the first time that we at the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club have done a live webcast of our Bonspiel. We hope you're enjoying it. We did have some technical difficulties this morning with the audio. We were able to get those resolved. So once again, we thank you for your patience. We do apologize. We've got that under control. If you have any comments or feedback, let us know. Let us know either in message here, or if you've got my email, you can send it my way. I don't exactly know who all is out there right now, so I'm not going to give my email out over the air here. But if you have it, go ahead and send something my way. Feel free to do that. Again, we will be back with you tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. for draw number 7. And 2 people who hopefully aren't too drowsy or hungover or otherwise slow in the morning will be joining you here on the broadcast. As I and actually most of the people who have been in the booth at various points today, actually we're going to be playing in that 7:30 a.m. draw. So I'm probably going to wind up with some new folks tomorrow morning. Looking at sheet 1 right now, Raju just playing a very clean game right now. Going to be taking everything out. You're up 5 without the hammer in the last end. Pretty much just run your opponent out of rocks here. We'll keep an eye on that as that progresses. Meanwhile, over on sheet 2, we have a much closer game. Team Calzone with quite a few red rocks in the house. Looks like there's going to get a chip. Still going to be sitting, still going to be good for shot. Ewok Party now sitting second. Ewok Party down 3 here in what is scheduled to be the final end. And here's Bree Weldon's first shot of the end. Looks like they're going to trying to sweep it to get past that guard. And they do. I'm going to tap the shot rock back to the back 8. And Ewok Party now looks like they are now sitting 2. Very exposed right now, but at least they've got the rocks at least in scoring position. We'll see what Endicott does here. Endicott coming down. Gonna peel that guard out of the way. Shooter's gonna stick around as a corner guard on the wing. But now Ewok Party sitting 2 with no protection out front. Let's something up here. 3 rocks remaining for Ewok, 2 for Calzone. Ewok with the hammer. Meanwhile, over here on sheet 1, we have like they were attempting to either draw around that or maybe raise that. Probably attempt to draw around that based on what the weight call was there. So nothing in the house right now for either team. Broomer Sooners have 2 guards up front, and it looks like Raju is going to call for the peel here. And here comes that rock down. He's gonna hit the back guard and then roll out to the wing. So now Davidson, I imagine, is going to try and draw in the house here. Meanwhile, Ewok Party, as their draw goes right to the back button. So they are now sitting 3, but wide open for Endicott to cut him down. So we're now to Skip's rocks on sheet 2. Heading back to 1. We're now in Skip's rocks here. I think this is just 2 teams who know each other very well, just playing out the strings here. Last draw of the night, enjoying the ice time. Broomer Sooners are run out of rocks. Electric Slide is going to win this one. Playing the remainder of the rocks back. And you got to roll them back anyway. Might as well play them. You got nobody coming on after you. Just a little friendly end here now with Davidson and Raju. Meanwhile, over on 2, the matter still very much in doubt, as Ewok Party currently sitting 3, heading into Skip's rocks. Endicott lining it up, coming out with good amount of weight on the broom. If that line holds true, he might be able to pop both of those that are sitting full 4 out. Definitely going to get at least one of them. and he runs the one back and then actually jams on another on his own rock at the back. So Ewok Party still sitting second and third with Sean Franey's first rock coming up here. And looks like that now is handshakes over on sheet one. So they've decided to go ahead and call it a night. So final score on that game is Electric Slide 9, Broomer Sooners 4. We will stay right here. We'll stay right here and bring you the end of our game here with Ewok Party. Here's Franey's first rock of the end. And down, Sweeper's not touching this one. Stay off of it. And they wind up hitting their own, but I believe that did jam off of something back there. It's behind him right now. I don't know what's immediately back there. There we go. So you can see now the two rocks for Ewok Party on either side of the 4-foot, and Calzone's rock sitting right on the button. Quick update over on sheet 4. It is handshakes over there. Team Gong defeating the Kiddos. They've actually already taken the score down, so I can't quite give you a final score on that. But that was Team Gong leading that one. I believe they were actually leading that game 7-2 through 5. Then not see a score go up. I'm assuming that ended at the conclusion of the sixth end. Meanwhile, here on 2, looks like Endicott is just gonna try and punch that left hand blue rock on the 4-foot out. Not a ton of weight here. And they would punch that out and hit and stay. So Endicott still sitting 1, might be sitting 2. Looks like it's close between that and the shot over there on the second rock over on the 4-foot. Ewok Party will take a moment to discuss this. Again, Brianna Weldon skipping this team, but throwing 3rd rocks. Sean Franey, the vice, throwing the 4th rocks. Last rock duties. And here comes Franey's rock. Big weight on this one. Oh, hits that front rock and pushes it back, but that's not going to be enough. So it is handshakes there on Heat 2. Team Calzone beating Ewok Party by the final score of 7-3. All right, as they push those rocks back, we're going to stick with you right now. We are down to the last 2 rocks now on over on sheet 3. That is going to be our, when that concludes, that's going to be our final game of the night. They're starting to take things down and get ready for the end of day ice prep. Again, we just want to take a moment to thank everybody for tuning in today. We appreciate your viewing us, and we hope you have been enjoying the broadcast. And yet, first time for us doing it, we're all very excited to get this off the ground. Very special thank you to Tony Del Porto, Monica Hernandez, able to provide most of the equipment that we have that we're using. I'd also like to thank Sharks Ice of Fremont for giving us the bandwidth to get this out over the network. And of course, all of you, all of our viewers. If no one's out there watching it, then this is why, to bring this to you guys, this is why we do it. So we want to thank all of you. Well, time is actually now 11:30, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up for the evening. So one more time, tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. is going to be our first draw of the day, and that's going to have Mountain Mayhem versus Mark Hurlsky, Team DL versus Mansell, Pool and the Gang versus Fraley, Joe Smith versus Team Bone, and Bisons on the Bay versus No Crack in the Hack. That'll be coming at you live at 7:30 a.m. Pacific Time tomorrow morning. We'll be with you all day covering draws 7 through... How far are we going tomorrow? We're going to 13. 7 through 13 tomorrow. And we'll be back with you again on Sunday morning for the semifinals and finals of our event. For Tony Del Porto, Jim Aller, Darren Molding, and everybody else who was in the booth today, Evan Elliott, and everybody else who was in here at other points, I'm Jim Muyo. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night and good curling.